are very wet. Oh, you just cleaned yourself, didn't you?
Hello. Hi, Freddie. Say hi.
Yes, happy Juneteenth, the day that slaves were actually freed after years of illegally keeping them enslaved despite being legally emancipated. The history of the U.S., what a beautiful country we live in. If there's one thing we know how to do, it's exploitation. Ooh, look at them balls. Is this animal abuse? Is this animal porn? I don't know anymore. Will we get demonetized? Probably. Nobody's ready for the truth. Why do cats have bunny feet? Why are they so cute? Why do they have parasites inside their poop? I don't know. Is Fred going to kill me tonight? Potentially. Hey, baby. How are you going to kill me tonight? You gonna slowly dig your claws inside my eyeballs? You gonna whip me with your tail? Oh, okay, alright. Yes, let's give you a treat. Because you were such a good boy. Yum. Yum. Geese. You got a lot of treats today, buddy. Do you feel so delighted? So many treats. Yes, good job. No more. We're done. No more treats for now. We will be making some dumpling wrappers for Grandma, and we will be making some chicken stock for Fred, me, Aaron, and Grandma, and we will be making some dumpling fillings, and hopefully we will... Oh, there goes my calendar. Hopefully we will make some dumplings, because I went to see Grandma today, and I was like, Grandma, please tell me what you want so that I don't have to spend time making things that you end up not wanting despite saying anything is okay, because it's pretty apparent that not everything that I bring you is okay. I don't know. My neighbor's playing music downstairs. I don't know if we're gonna get demonetized because my neighbor's music is ridiculously loud. I can hear the vibrations and feel the vibrations, and not my fault. But if we get demonetized, then we'll just take it down. Not the first time we've done this thing. I mean, there are worse things to be addicted to than prawn crackers, so I'm very glad that you are addicted to it. There goes my calendar. Anyway, not sure if we're supposed to be celebrating Juneteenth as like a holiday, but for those who are commemorating this occasion, happy Juneteenth. It's a reminder of how fucked up this country is. And that's it for me. Like, I had a friend ask me yesterday, hey, do you want to do something for Juneteenth? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is not my holiday to celebrate. I don't, one, feel connected to it in any other way besides, like, secondhand shame for being a citizen of a country that has a history of not only slavery, but deception and de facto law breaking that isn't actually punished, which, you know, we still continue to this day. Like, I consider corporations not paying their fair share of taxes illegal, but unfortunately we have people legalizing the illegal, at which point, when you are an adult and you realize how fucked up this world is, you're like, oh yeah, laws, they're not actually good for anything, are they? They're just here to punish the people who people in power decide to punish when they want to punish. So it's all very arbitrary. But Dumplings. Chicken stock. Hi, Holly. What is the Juneteenth holiday? For people who don't know, Juneteenth, Joe Biden instated Juneteenth as a national holiday like last year or the year before. I can't remember. Can you stop, Aaron? Please, this is why I asked you when you were going to go for a walk so I can do my live when you're... Stop! Anyway, as a country, we technically eliminated slavery, but then some slave owners decided we're not going to let the slaves go because we like unpaid human rights violation that produces economy for us. So Juneteenth is to celebrate the day that slaves actually got freed, years after slavery was banned in the US. It's actually a very shameful holiday, I think, because it shows you what this country is made of. I find it super ironic that corporations are now making products to sell to you to celebrate Juneteenth. I don't feel like they expect most people to understand what's behind this holiday, because if we were celebrating the day that people finally decided to stop breaking the law and stop abusing other humans, that just means that you've had a history of abusing humans and breaking laws. So ironic. But anyway... So I bought a bag of chicken bones a while ago for $1 that I had frozen, but today we're gonna defrost it. We're gonna make some stock. We're gonna peel off the cartilage. I'm gonna eat the cartilage. I maybe give Fred some cartilage. And then I'm waiting for these chicken breasts to kind of defrost so I can make them into dumpling filling for Grandma. Only mods can share links is correct. Yes. So I know, don't freak out, but a lot of Americans don't like to wash chicken because salmonella. I'm gonna rinse this chicken bone off. It's been frozen. I don't know how fresh it is, just to get off some of the off flavors. We're gonna do it. We're gonna try to not splash everywhere. We're gonna try to not spread the salmonella, but like, you know, what doesn't kill you makes you weaker. Doesn't actually make you stronger. It just makes you think you're stronger because you defeated death, but it actually is just building towards death anyway. Fred's gonna go crazy for the trash bag. I can already feel it. You might have to do a little bit of digging for the Discord link. I'm not very tech savvy. It is hidden somewhere in the About section. It's kind of like a treasure map. You just have to follow the clues and then eventually you'll find it. You know, my laziness basically helps to keep the people who don't know how to use the internet out of the Discord. So it's a very self-selective group, I think. Sorry for the inequality that I've instilled in this community. I am just lazy. Same thing with my Instagram too. Like my Instagram is actually on the channel's homepage banner. So you just have to know where to look for these things. Yeah, Brian, I know what the FDA says. I don't listen to the government sometimes, though. You know what the FDA also says is that you have to cook all poultry to 165 degrees internal temperature, and that's why your chicken is so fucking overcooked. The FDA has to say that because they don't want people to die. But there's a lot more nuance to cooking chicken. For example, if you cook your chicken to an internal temperature of 140 degrees and hold it at that internal temperature for like over 10 minutes, it technically gets rid of all of the bacteria as well as heating your chicken up to 165 degrees internal temperature. But because there is a lot more conditionals to meet when you hit a lower temperature, the FDA just keeps it simple for dummies by not explaining it. This whole country has a lot of like very patronizing traditions of like, you're too dumb to understand this, so let me just keep it simple for you by telling you a truth and hiding all the other truths from you because you're not smart enough to handle that. I feel like there's a lot of that going on in our world right now, but I'm seeing it a lot in American culture. Like, and then you wonder how we've come to this stage. Hello, Southern Germany. So I'm going to do something a little different today because the last time I made chicken broth, I kept it completely unsalted so that it's safe for Fred to consume in large amounts. However, this time what I'll be doing is bringing this entire pot up to a boil, letting it cook for about maybe 20 minutes, extract some of the flavor out of that pot superficially, and then I'm going to basically dump out that broth, keep that for Fred, and fill it up with more water and spices so that I can actually enjoy eating the cartilage and the meat. Because the last time that I ate it, it was fine. It's got that kind of chickeny flavor to it, but I just want to treat myself a little bit more. So we'll see. That's my plan, but you know how I do with plans, not well. Next up, we shall, actually, let me move it to this burner. Next up, we shall make some dumpling dough. you go. I feel like other countries are a lot less restrictive about food. And I've seen a lot of other cultures wash their meat, and I think they're doing fine. It also just really depends on what you're used to, because that's the way you were socialized, and socialization has a huge impact on your psychology, and your psychology has a huge impact on your biological processes, because they're all connected. So if you were brought up under the paradigm that like you never wash meat because that spreads germs and causes foodborne illnesses, then every time you see someone do the opposite of what you were brought up to believe in, you have this like horror slash disgust slash disapproval of that process. Doesn't mean that you will die, but you are probably more likely to suffer psychologically from witnessing that and doing that than someone who was brought up doing the opposite. So like, just understand that not all cultures operate the same, and understand that not all people were brought up with the same set of truths, and then just like, you know, whatever other people want to do, just let them fucking do it. And then you do you. And then if I do get foodborne illnesses and like get really sick or die, then you can go into your Schadenfreude stage of life and get a kick out of that. It's a win-win situation, folks. All right, dumpling recipe. I'm going to sneak in a little bit of rye flour so Grandma can get a little bit of whole grain, not too much. Don't want her to freak out and tell me that I did everything wrong. Just a little wrong. Then 3 tablespoons cornstarch. Yeah, their music is so fucking loud, it's giving me a headache. And it's shitty music, too.
I guess I'll be on my way.
You'll be on your way, sir.
Would you like anything from SNS?
No. Thank you. Now, normally I've made it with hot water, so we can heat some of this up. Hello, Scotland. And then after we make dumpling dough, I should probably make some youtiao dough, because Grandma's, like, it's been 8 months since she's been under my care, and I think she's honestly getting tired of the same things, but like, there's only so much I can do for her on a daily basis, so I like to switch between a steamed item, a boiled item, a fried item. Yeah. If you have any tips, let me know. But your girl does not have a lot of time in her life where she's not constantly cooking. So she is tired of cooking. Friends have been like asking me out to hang out and eat, and I'm just like, you won't believe this, but I think I'm finally sick of food. So that's where I'm at. Check. check my DMs. Did I do something wrong? Nice. Nice wood ears. They look absolutely delicious. Very cool. Very cool. That soup looks good. Congratulations. Delicious. 10 out of 10 would eat. Can you pin this? Sure, I'll pin it. If we go live until 4 p.m., you are responsible for reminding me to feed Fred. Capiche? So right now it's 2:33 p.m. my time. In about an hour and a half, we are supposed to feed Fred. Don't let me forget. What? Fred will remind me starting now, probably. Hello, Canada. What is going on outside today? There is so much craziness. Very sad to report, I left my avocado plant outside on the fire escape. I know, it's illegal, but it's definitely dead. Like, I think it's dried out and it's gotten so battered by the wind. So, a moment of peace and silence for our dying avocado plant. I also think the cat grass is dying, so whoopsies. I am not a great gardener, for sure. I don't know if you guys remember me saying that for a very long time, only Asian women recognize me on the streets of New York because I'm usually masked still, so it's very hard to see my face. But in the last 2 months, I've had non-Asian women approach me and say, hey, are you June? So that's fun. And I'm still wearing my mask, so I must be like either talking very loudly or whatever. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, Aaron and I were in Stop and Shop, and this lady approached us in the freezer aisle as we were looking for ice cream, and she was like, I heard your voice. So, I'm not sure how distinctive my voice is, but apparently enough that strangers can tell it's me. Hello, Kit J. I'm so glad that you're here for a live after wanting to be live for a live. Congratulations. It's unfortunately going to be pretty boring. It's going to be a lot of kneading dough and chopping meat and the usual shit. Is it time for Instant Pot congee as an offering? Yeah, that could be a great suggestion. It's been a while since I've made congee. But Grandma gets oatmeal every day in the morning for her breakfast. So she considers that congee. So I'm not sure if she wants congee. I feel like she more often wants stuff that is not being provided to her. But I could try to make congee again, especially as we get into the summer months. It could be nice because she likes eating colder congee. The thing about Grandma now is I go visit her and her room is not cold, but she has an autumn jacket on every time. And even my uncle on Skype
is always wondering, like, are you cold, Mom? Like, what's going on? So I don't know if Grandma just feels cold all of the time now because she's old or what. Maybe she just feels safe with a jacket on. Not sure. It's getting harder and harder to understand Grandma in a lot of ways. Hello, Kirsten in Kansas. I have not taken my vitamin. Did you take your vitamin, Aaron? Enjoy your gnocchi, Anna.
Did you just take a D with how much you've been walking outside recently?
I haven't walked outside that much today. I don't know also if your body is like capable of metabolizing all of the sunshine. Ooh, that was a good knuckle crack. Enjoy your walk.
Thanks, June. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing. I wasn't paying attention.
Dumplings for Grandma.
Sure.
I've never cooked so much Chinese food before in my life. So maybe it was a way for me to get in touch with my Chinese cuisine roots. Yes, I can make her peanuts again. That's a great suggestion. I have peanuts. We can boil some right now. I, as a general policy, don't really meet up with internet strangers, despite how nice they can be. I just don't have the mental energy for it, to be honest. And you never really know who they're gonna be, how it's gonna turn out, how like mentally draining it's gonna be. So I'm just not that kind of, I'm not that extroverted, despite these lives. Because on a live, I get to control my environment, I can turn it off whenever I want. In person, it's kind of just hard. I mean, I can literally walk off and away if the interaction isn't going my way. But it's a little more difficult than just turning off your cell phone and ending a live. You have to do some face-to-face awkward rejection. So, sorry, no merch, no meet and greets. It's like I don't even exist. Are there any Chinese dishes you didn't know how to cook before your mom passed, but you learned since? No, not really. I haven't had time to really learn. But also a lot of Chinese dishes are just kind of like stir-fry stuff. I would say I've gained more confidence with a lot of things because I've had to make them for Grandma so often. It's kind of like experience through repetition. And even if I make a failed batch, I'm still learning from it. But I wouldn't say I conquered any new dishes. I don't know what sand nuts are even, so I don't know what they're used for. I could definitely make Grandma some rice. Not sure if I can find salted veggies that are not spicy too. Rice is also kind of scary for me because I don't know how long grandma's gonna hold on to it, and if rice sits out for 2 hours, you can get food poisoning from it. So rice is kind of sketch. If I bring it to grandma, I'm gonna have to watch her eat it before I leave. Otherwise, I'm gonna be very worried about making my grandma very sick. Generosos is an American Chinese dish, I believe. I don't think it exists in China, but now it does. Like, kind of like how like Vietnamese food gets transformed in certain states and regions of the U.S. and then they kind of like travel back in their kind of hybrid form. So food is quite amazing in that way, where a dish might not have existed from where you thought it existed, but it exists now, and then it goes through continuous change and bastardization. Most times it's quite delicious, sometimes it's not. Right, youtiao dough. Let's see. The good thing about youtiao is Aaron also likes to eat it, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1 every time I make it. That way, if grandma doesn't like it, Aaron can eat it.
gonna need a cleanup. It's gonna need a cleanup. Oh well.
I don't think the facility's gonna let me bring in a mini fridge because I feel like it's like a hazard in her room for tripping and knocking her head on. They just try to eliminate all sources of potential injury. Cause liability. I, as a general rule, do not buy meat unless I'm assigned a recipe to develop that calls for meat. So I normally don't really buy meat just to cook for grandma. And she also gets fed protein from the facility, and I'm not worried about her not getting enough meat. In fact, I've gone in on some days and she's still got chicken from the night over. And I tell her to get rid of it because I don't want her to fucking eat chicken that's been out for 12 hours. So I know for sure she's not super meat starved. She is just a very picky eater, unfortunately. Hi, Fred. Is it easier to make xianbing than dumplings? Maybe. But dumplings I can freeze. I guess you can freeze xianbing too. Although, would you freeze xianbing before or after cooking? Bye, Crystal. Freddie, you gotta stay where the camera can see you so people can enjoy your presence, you know? Hi, UK. I have to remind Grandma how to breathe every time she goes into a coughing fit or complains about something and is basically edging herself into an anxiety/panic attack. And I find that it is helpful for me to just literally sit there and be like, breathe in, breathe out, breathe slower, breathe deeper, and like trying to count to 3, but obviously her breaths are never that slow because she just refuses to, or she's incapable of breathing that slow. But so if you ever feel yourself becoming unstabilized, just breathe and focus on the breath and let that be the only thing that ties you to this existence until you feel calmer. because truly nothing else matters. Here's the thing. You need air to live. Once you don't have air, you will not be alive. So all that is indicative of you being here and being alive is breathing. So master your breath and then worry about other things. Because if you don't have the breath, you will not have anything else. Remember, first of all, that you are a human. You are mortal. You are here for a time, no one knows how long, and that in the end, most things that are troubling you right now are probably very inconsequential. I know it's hard to think about things being inconsequential, and I know that they don't feel inconsequential when they are truly bashing in on you. But putting it into perspective gives you some distance between you and whatever is making you panic. We have been socialized to think forever for the future. However, no one takes the time to tell us face to face that sometimes the future never comes. And I learned this the hard way after my mom died. Someone who was always planning for the future and doing it until her very last breath never got to really live to see the future that she was planning for. And so now I have to constantly remind myself that this is it. Like, this is what life is. And that everything that I'm worrying about is just a worry and not reality. So why make myself worry about things that are not yet real? Why make painful, stressful, bad things come to life through my mind? Why do I choose to punish myself this way if I don't have to? Is it because somebody told me at some point of my growth that these things do matter and that I will be punished if I behave in such a way that doesn't prioritize these things? And if that is the case, have I matured to a point where I have grown beyond the good and the evil metrics that I was first initiated to? Can I get past the point of other people's educations and discover what it means to live according to my own internal gauges? Sometimes when I feel myself worry, I really do have to just take a moment and ask myself, will this matter if you died tomorrow? Most of the time it doesn't matter. I worry about taxes. I worry about how to manage all of the accounts that mom left behind. And I worry about recipes that I have to develop. But like,
If I die tomorrow, none of the things that I just mentioned matter. I think about when I get into fights with grandma and I ask myself, will this matter if you die tomorrow? Or will this matter if grandma dies tomorrow? And like, yeah, it kind of does matter, because money and accounts don't really contribute to my sense of self in terms of good or bad. But how I treat my grandmother and how I treat myself and how I treat other people do matter a lot in forming my sense of self. That may not be the case for everyone. Some people might actually form their sense of self based on how much money is in their bank accounts, in which case they prioritize that. You have to figure out what your own priorities are. And once you figure out your priorities, you need to try your best to treat yourself with kindness and patience and forgiveness and space, and just like deprioritize everything else, because you cannot prioritize everything you've been taught to prioritize, because a lot of those priorities that have been instilled in you are actually other people's priorities, and their priorities might have come from others before them. And so why should we continue our lives stressing over things that were important to other people, but not really to ourselves? It seems kind of silly, doesn't it? So don't be silly, or do be silly. I don't know. Do whatever you want to do. Freddie, do you want me to take inside the cat grass that is now definitely dead? I'm sorry, buddy. I was growing it for you. And I didn't realize how dead it had gotten outside. I'm so sorry, Fred. I tried my best. Here's a person who wants to own a farm in the future. That's not gonna happen, is it? It's all dead grass, Fred. It's all dead grass. Sorry, Fred. I was waiting for them to get nice and big and fat so you could nibble on them, but I left them outside for too long, and now they're all dried. Look at the disappointment of Fred. He's so disappointed. He's just like, what happened? What did you do? You idiot. You idiot. I love you though, Freddie. I'll try to do better next time, okay? I'll try to not be so greedy. I got too greedy this time, you know? Yeah. Very greedy. Things always go wrong when you're greedy. Mm-hmm. Do you want more pets? Look at the fur, Freddy. Look at how much fur you have. Hmm? Freddy? No chicken. If you wait, I will give you chicken, okay? You gotta wait though. You can't be a trash cat. Good. I haven't been keeping track, but have we been boiling for longer than 30 minutes? Let's see. Our live has been going on for 53 minutes already, so I think it's time to drain off some of this broth. Yummies. Freddie, do you want some of this protein gunk? You might like protein gunk on the lid, right? It's nice and fatty and flavorful. It's got a lot of blood, you know? This could be your thing. Let's see if Freddie likes protein blood. Mmm, yummy. There's no spices. All we have is just water and chicken right now. Let me see if this is hot. Okay, we're good. Would you like some chicken blood? Ooh, we are in business, folks. How is it? How is the chicken blood gunk? Yum. Delicious. Yeah, it's good? Okay, very good. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna skim off some of this protein gunkiness. We're gonna let it cool, and we can let Fred have some treat while he waits patiently. And then we're gonna drain off this broth. Let's use a metal spoon, Fred. Yes, we are making chicken bone broth. That is precisely what we're doing. I'm skimming some of the foam because the gucky foam that you've been taught to skim off and discard is actually just coagulated blood and protein leaking out from the bones, the meat, and then just getting cooked to a solid state. So it's actually quite nutritious, and it's got a lot of flavor, although not everyone finds it aesthetic, you know, and our world is all about aesthetics. But Fred cares about flavor. Fred is not a man of aesthetics. Not to say he's not into aesthetics. It's just he knows there's more to life beyond aesthetics. That's my kind of a man, you know? He's truly my soulmate. Sometimes I don't think so. But, sometimes I do. Yeah, Fred, I think you're gonna love this gunk. You're gonna love this gunk. So much gunk. Gunk for Fred. Yes, the gunk is very cooked. It's been at a boil for half an hour now, so everything that is bad should be dead. Whoa, are we in a cat competition here? Somebody has 5 cats and 8 kittens. That seems like a lot to handle. Okay, Freddy, I am going to give you some chicken broth. And I hope it will make you happy. That is very hot. So instead of water, I've been giving Fred some chicken broth to really appetize his otherwise lackluster canned food. Oh God, why am I so weak? Oh my God, what happened with this jar? Oh God, Jesus Christ. I think I twinged a muscle. Woof. Ow. Oh my God, I'm getting old, guys. I don't like getting old. I really don't. It really sucks. So the best thing about homemade broth is you get this lovely, ooh, that's hot, ouch. I'm not very smart today. You get this lovely layer of fat chicken schmaltz on top. That's where all the flavor is. When you buy store-bought broth, you don't have that layer of flavor. They don't give it to you. I don't know where they sell it to, but not you. The bones are just about ready to fall out, so we're gonna need the lid for this. I'm gonna wash it because the lid is very gunky. Yes, Freddie. Yes, I believe this would be stock, technically, because stock is made with bones. Broth is usually, apparently, technically just made with meat. So if you are a stickler for definition, this would definitely be in the stock category. I buy the bones. This pot of bones was $1 at my store. So it's a lot. Hi, Freddie. What a silly beanie. You're just waiting for food, aren't you? Okay, that's a lot of broth for you, babe. I hope you're happy. And let's give him some more gunk. Shall we? You ready for more gunky? Ooh, just smacked him in the face with the tripod leg. Yeah? Want some gunk? I normally don't consume chicken or really any other meat, but I will randomly just buy bones of whatever cut they have for $1 because more likely than not, it's just already kind of like a clearance bin, and I feel like whatever they don't sell, they're just gonna dump. Yes, I do feel guilty about eating animals. But I like making use of the kind of offcuts, the clearance whatevers. Wow, that was so fast, Fred. That took me a long time to make, and you just gobbled it up. Alright, now we're gonna fill this with a little more spices.
Maybe a little bit of salt. You know. If I can find my salt. There we go. Salt my chicken bones so that the cartilage can be tasty. That's probably good. And I know originally I said I wanted to put spices in here, but maybe I just want salt. That way if I do decide to give Fred a treat, it'll just be a little bit of elevated sodium, but not much else that could be poisonous to him. Sometimes you can get the marrow to come out with a spoon, the back of a spoon, the handle that can go into the bone. If it's not a piece of marrow that is scoopable, you more than likely just have to simmer the bones for a long time. I usually go minimum of 6 hours for larger bones like pork bones and beef bones. And that'll soften your bone to the point where you can just kind of bite into it. And then obviously you can do a thing where you're just like chewing on the bone to squeeze all of the marrow out with your teeth. Or you can suck on it a little bit. Sometimes the bones get so soft you can even just squeeze it with your hand and it'll crumble it. So I'm just gonna loosely cover this. We'll let it come back up to a boil. What's up, Fred? Are you pooping? Our chicken is defrosting. That's good. Just add a little more salt. Okay. Oregano and rosemary. That's good to know. Thank you for that knowledge. You can definitely eat the bones. It might do funky stuff to your stool if you eat too much because it is a very kind of hard substance to eat. So just be aware of that. I wouldn't recommend eating so much bone. It might give you a stomach ache. You might not be able to digest. Your body might be like, what the hell are you doing? And I wouldn't be wrong. Yes, I agree. Planning for the future is a very immigrant thing to do. And I was just talking with a friend yesterday about this because he's also, like me, an immigrant. And he was stressing out about a lot of things that I think our parents would also stress out about. But I told him, like, you know, we have had a childhood and an upbringing where a lot of things were not stable. And we were brought up to do our best to stabilize our lives for ourselves. But it does not mean that we have to make ourselves sick because we were taught to always think for the future. Because as it stands, we don't need to do that anymore. We are afforded a greater security net in terms of being financially stable, being in a country where it is just, well, I don't know about now, but yes, relatively more stable than our parents had it. And we need to kind of school ourselves to not freak out like our parents did, because we're not them anymore. But if we keep acting like we are them, then we will be living like them. And that's not really what they want for us. They want us to be stable, which includes being mentally secure. So that's something that we have to learn how to do. Scarcity mentality will make you feel ill, much like anxiety will. Anxiety, evolutionarily speaking, happens because your body is trying to protect you from a source of threat. But it is basically no longer helping us, it is rather hurting us. Because its worries do not apply to a lot of our situations anymore. But we have not yet learned to evolve out of having anxiety, and so we become mentally ill. We become sick with stuff like stress and anxiety. So then we have to figure out, how do we make ourselves not make ourselves sick? Like, we are the ones making ourselves sick. How do we stop that? Like, our parents went through it, and I think if they're kind parents, they don't want us to go through the same shit that they went through. They want our lives to be better. So we really do have to try our best to figure out for ourselves what is better. Because our parents came from a very different place than we did. They probably can't really guide us because they never lived this better form. So we have to teach ourselves how to live this better form of life. And we have to not live like they lived because they had worse conditions. We don't want to construct their same worse conditions. We can't play the game that they played. That would defeat the purpose. We have to play a different game. One that makes use of the resources that we have that they never had. Because resources are wasted if you don't use them. why I just washed my knife. I still needed it. That's the kind of brain I'm working with today. Great, great, great. I bring my compost to drop-off sites. I don't process the compost myself. There are plenty of community gardens, farmers markets who do that work for me. So I just collect them. In the summer, I tend to freeze them so that they don't rot and smell. And then every week or so, I bring them to a drop-off site and they get processed into compost. If your fingernails are breaking, you need to get more calcium into your diet. That's a sign that your body is not feeling great. Or it could just be genetics, and you got really sucky genetics, in which case I'm sorry. I cannot help you. But try upping your calcium first. Could be helpful. This time the broth is much clearer. realized you can't see shit. I'm terrible. I have some smoked pork neck bones that I'm gonna put into this chicken filling because what I have is chicken breast meat. It's probably not as fatty as Grandma likes it, so I'm gonna try to use this pork to like compensate for both flavor and fattiness a little bit. Sorry, I'm not looking at comments. I like to focus on my chopping, especially with this sharpened knife, so that we don't have human flesh in the food that we're cooking. Oh, I sliced myself. Fuck. Well, that's what you get when you have a sharp knife. I remember the first time I sliced myself with a very sharp knife and I was a very noob in the kitchen. I freaked out. I almost passed out. Aaron came home like 10 minutes after I sliced myself and I was like hyperventilating. Ay, ay, ay. It's gonna start bleeding soon. But the knife is so sharp that the blood doesn't even come, like... It's fine. We're good. I am desensitized to it all. And of course, I will return the carcass of this smoked neck bone to the freezer, where I will use it in future stews so that we can actually extract all the nice flavor from the bones. We're just getting some of the flavorful meat pieces for Grandma. Okay, I need a new container to hold my porky pieces. Actually, you're wonderful. I was thinking of breaking out the food processor to mash up the chicken. I kind of don't feel like that. I kind of just feel like processing it all by hand. So this might be a very long live. I also think it's time for a snack. Let's read a comment. Okay, we're not frying the donuts today. I'm just making the dough, which needs to kind of rise, be folded, so that we can work some gluten structure into it, but we are not frying. I only fry those for Grandma right before I visit her so that they're hot and fresh. They don't really keep well like any donuts. But anyway, there was a comment that was left on the second grief journal that went up. I think I saw it yesterday, and I was like, you're not wrong. this hurts so much to read. So I'm just gonna read it out loud because I guess this is how I process things on this channel anyway. Oh, where did the comment go? Weird. Having a lot of trouble finding it. Alright, well, let's just go to the video and see if it's there. By the way, I went into Grandma's facility today, and the nurse, Anna, the head nurse of her floor, saw me, and she was like, "You cut your hair." And I was like, "Yes, I got really tired of it." And she was like, "You look like a little girl. It looks so good." And I was like, "I definitely don't feel like a little girl, but thank you." And this is why I cut my hair, because it makes me feel slightly refreshed. By the way, if you go to the second grief journal 8 months later, I have pinned one comment written by Joe S. And I pinned it because of two reasons. One, I'm sure Joe took a very long time to write out such a comprehensive comment, and a very considerate and thoughtful one too. And two, because when I was reading it, I broke down and sobbed in a very good way. Joe basically treated me to a sort of transference, I think is what it's called in therapy, where you treat someone else as the person you wish you could talk to. And Joe basically, without even me asking for it, role played my mom. And so it's a very, very touching comment. So thank you, Joe. Wow, I can't find the comment. I can't find the comment that I was going to read. I wonder where it went. Okay, DZD asked, what would you do if you work and get the conversation about your contract, and as a surprise, they tell you you don't work proper for the position you're in, so you get the choice, contract with lower position or no contract. You just got this position for 5 months and didn't get any schooling that you were offered before you got that position. Not sure what that second half means, but I would say you need to negotiate with them and get a contract that is not with a lower position, but rather the one that you're in, or even higher. What I've learned is that if you don't ask for it, they won't give it to you. If you fight for it, the effort might not result in your ideal scenario, but it will be better than what they're offering you now. So if you're not happy with either of those choices, then you're not happy with either of those choices. And if you plan on not living in regret, subject to other people's degradation of your skill set, you must unfortunately expend the energy on speaking up for yourself. It's not going to be easy. It will be much easier to get the result that you want if other coworkers speak up with you, alongside you, in solidarity, aka a union of sorts. But yeah, it's not easy. Companies will take advantage of you any way they can. HR will take advantage of you any way they can. HR works for the company. HR is always, their job is to look out for the company's bottom line, save the company money any way they can. Your job is to advocate for yourself. And unfortunately, if your position is not unionized, you have to be the one advocating for yourself alone. That doesn't mean you can't start a union, though. There is a lot of job trauma on this channel. I probably started that trend, I'm sorry. Damn, I really can't find the comment that hit me really hard. I'm gonna go look for it. Maybe I remembered it wrong. Could it be on the first grief diary? I'm not sure. But anyway, the comment was, I couldn't comment on your latest live, so I came here to comment, and the comment said something like, my heart breaks for your mother the more you talk about her. She seemed like such a nice person. And then the comment diverged and went into the territory of, did you ever do anything good for her? Did you always make her life harder? Did you ever try to make her life easier? And it's just like, obviously, all of these things I've said to myself, all of these things that I feel guilt about, not treating my mom well enough when she was still alive, all of these regrets that I still do have and probably will have for the rest of my life. But these are things that I'm working on forgiving myself for, because it is all too late. And I can either continue to torture myself over the things I didn't do right for the rest of my life, or try to keep them in mind, not push them away, but also recognize that I still have chances, if not to treat my mother better, because she's gone, but to treat my grandmother better, even if she tests me a shit ton, and to maybe treat other people better the way that I didn't get to treat my mom too. Maybe I can just like divide the resources that I do have that should have gone to my mother to other people. But I am still thankful in a couple of ways for comments that say those things, because they remind me of negative thoughts that already exist in my head. And because they are coming from an external source, I am more able to process my emotions. Because now my negative self-speak has been spoken by someone else. And the immediate anger and offense and hurt and sadness and grief and regret that I have harbored within myself, that I have invisibly battled within myself, are now externalized. And then I'm able to have, even if I'm not able to have an actual literal dialogue with that person, a sort of internal battle that is way more organized. Because I can now project my negative self-talk onto the stranger who said very much the same things I've said to myself. And then I can go back and forth in a way that is less torturous, because it is a little bit dissected. So thank you for leaving those comments. And I don't think most people who leave comments that hurt me mean for them to be hurtful. Not to say that there aren't any people who mean to hurt me, but once I move beyond the initial pain of feeling like that comment is attacking me, then I can begin to process. So I think maybe this is what they mean when they say, you can't choose what happens to you, but you can choose how to react to them. And so this is the way I'm choosing to react to them. Cottage cheese. This is my favorite cottage cheese. They gave me free coupons because they reached out to me through a PR email that was like, have you tried Good Culture? And I was like, boy, have I tried Good Culture. I love good culture. And I was like, this is not my job to write feature articles or listicles or rundowns of best products. But I do recipe development, and they were like, would you like samples? And I was like, I would like samples. But I also don't want styrofoam or ice packs or for you to ship this. So can you give me coupons? So they were very nice, and they sent me coupons, and I got 2 tubs of cottage cheese. If you like cottage cheese and you can afford to spend a little more on your cottage cheese, this is pretty good. I don't know if they are exactly humane, but they say it's certified organic and crafted with love from small family farms, but like kind of all companies say that. They're a certified B Corp. I don't know if that means anything anymore. But there you have it. Cottage cheese. It looks disgusting, but it tastes so good. Yes, you will always have something you feel bad about. Exactly, Kenya. We will always have regrets. And so it is our job to learn how to forgive ourselves for our regret. It's not to reject your regrets. It's not to say that you don't have regrets or that you're going to live without regrets, because I think it is inevitable that you will have regrets, because you are constantly faced with choices. You must pick between 2 options or more options. And your brain will always be thinking, well, if I pick the other choice that I didn't actually pick, maybe it could have come out better. And like, yeah, maybe it could have come out better, but you don't know. And then if you pick the better choice, you would have thought about the other choice. Grass is always greener on the other side. Not to say that the grass is not greener elsewhere, but you can torture yourself way more than the green grass is actually worth. So you choose your level of torture sometimes. What grocery store chain is it at? I'm not sure. Usually at the bougier health food store is where you'll find more of it, but that's not to say that Stop and Shop doesn't have it, because that's actually where we found ours, at Stop and Shop, so. Oh, yes. Thank you for the reminder. It is Fred's, I guess it's dinner. I don't know what actually it is. Fredolino, it's time to have dinner. With chicken soup, Freddy. Freddy.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, claw me. Yes, get your toe stuck on my sock. That's the way to do it, bro. Fresh chicken juice, Freddy. How lucky you are. Doesn't get fresher than that. Yummy.
Shall we try to put some of your cat grass in here? The parts that aren't so super dry, so you get a little bit of vegetation and fiber. Is that something you would like, Freddie? Wow, these look terrible, Fred. Terrible. It's like dried herbs, Fred. Can you think about it that way? Really fresh, dried herbs. Hello, HK. It's been a while since we... Oh, there goes my phone. Come on, phone. I was going to say, it's been a while since we've had the pleasure of watching Fred eat. So, bon appetit. chicken broth, Freddie? Good? Looks like you're enjoying it. Done, Freddie? Wow. Was it a good meal? After you eat, you don't need me, right? You've gotten all you want out of me. A soft bed, a place to pee and poop, snacks. Goodbye. Ingrate. Hello, Caribbean. Ay, ay, ay. This is all I'm good for. Wonder if this is what my mom felt like. I do all of this for you, and all you do is meow at me. That chicken stock smells so good. So good. I put you guys there because I've run out of battery on my cell phone. Now I'm trying to wonder how to position you so that you can still see what I'm doing and not just my butt. I think you're charging. Yes. You're charging. I got my hair cut on a live. I cut my hair on a live. I guess some people don't watch every live, do they? Oh, you do know. I trimmed away some like bits after I washed my hair. That's the way it goes. When I cut my hair at home, I tend to
trim it a couple of times after the initial cut, just because it's not always precise. Unfortunately, a lot of my regret for the way I treated Mom, I mean, not to speak ill of the dead, but Mom could have done a better job of advocating, you know? I feel like I am doing my damnedest to advocate for myself at every turn of life now, because I know for a fact that Mom did not do a great job of advocating for herself her entire life. She probably was socialized and taught to always be in sacrifice mode, and that's what made her feel good. But now I saw the end result of her socialization and the end result of her choice being living and dying the way that she did, and I'm choosing for myself to not live and die the way that she did. So, obviously, we learn from our parents, both their mistakes, especially their mistakes, and their successes, and we try to decide what to do for ourselves as we move forward in life. That's not to say that I'm always making the right choice, but I'm making a choice. And that will have to be enough. You can't guarantee winning. So I cut the chicken breast laterally about 3 or 4 times without slicing my hand off. And then I'm turning it into strips. And then I'm going to turn the strips about 90 degrees and try to give it a rough mince. And that's it. I'm not going to go haywire on it because I don't have the attention span or the dedication right now to do that. And Grandma will just have to eat whatever I give her because she's 94. Sucks to be that old, doesn't it? I just told a friend yesterday, like, taking care of my 94-year-old grandma has confirmed for me that I do not ever want to be that old. Never, ever, ever. Ever. And the response was, well, are you going to kill yourself? And I'm like, I don't know if I will be strong enough to kill myself, because the way the human mind works is you constantly adjust, whether or not you're conscious of it, your perception of self. And so when I turn 50, I'm going to think I'm still young. When I turn 60, I'm going to think I'm still young. When I turn 70, surely from my 33-year-old mind, I wouldn't feel young. But when I turn 70, I'm going to feel like I still have gas in me. And so at what point do you feel like you're ready to kill yourself because you don't want to be old? At what point do you acknowledge that you are actually old? So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And that's the scariest part of existing, is living with yourself, battling with yourself. So if you can stop the war within, I feel like living is going to get much easier. And the problem we war with ourselves is because society has never taught us how to be at peace, because peace does not generate profit. War does, on so many levels. So if they create individuals that self-manufacture wars within, then they can always guarantee that they make a profit. no matter what kind of war you have going on within you, there are always two sides, at least, battling it out. And then companies, businesses, industries can capitalize on both ends of that war. They can pick a side, they can flip-flop. Like we can prioritize fatness as beauty, and then we can prioritize skinniness as beauty. We used to hate fat butts, now we love fat butts. Now we're like, love every body that you have, and then still manage to sell you shit. It's fascinating. It's truly fascinating. Our society is ingenious in all the wrong ways. I also have a friend who tells me she's gonna have a kid. She wants to have a kid at least, because she doesn't want to be alone when she's old. And I'm like, that is literally the worst reason to have a kid. And she says she doesn't think so because people before us have done it. And I'm like, just because people before us have done it doesn't mean that's the right thing to do. I mean, the people before us have done a lot of shitty things. But anyway, we will never see eye to eye on that. She insists that she's going to have a kid, and I already, in my own egotistical way, feel sorry for that kid because I am a antinatalist. And I don't, from my point of view, I don't think her reason for wanting to have a kid is very kind to the child.
It smells amazing in here.
It smells like chicken stock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Freddie had his 4 p.m. meal with fresh chicken stock.
Excellent. Are you on your anti-kid rant again?
Yes, because my friend, who you know, who I shall not name on this live, insists on having a kid, and she says because she doesn't want to be alone when she's old, and I said that's a terrible reason to have a kid.
Right. Oh, Cheryl. Silly Cheryl.
I don't have a friend by the name of Cheryl. But yes, sure, let's call her Cheryl.
Why would Aaron have bought Bohemia
Oh, wow.
Cerveza Elaborate?
Well, my body is blocking your beer.
Cerveza, well, I'm trying to read it. Elaborada con orgullo. Those are all Spanish words I know. Why would I have done that, June?
Was it free?
No.
Was it on sale?
No.
Do you want to get crunk and drunk?
Well, what do we have in the fridge?
Nothing?
You aren't thinking out of the box.
I don't know what we have in the fridge, Aaron. You tell me.
Okay. I'll bring one other thing that I got and we'll see if we can piece it together.
Okay.
How exciting, folks.
What are these?
Limes?
Uh-huh. Are you starting to get the idea yet?
Oh, you're gonna make the thing that I always pronounce wrong.
Michelada.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
I also got for
You
my
also have chamoy in addition to tomatoes.
Excellent. I also got for my sandwiches Turkish pickled
Very good.
peppers.
Well, just keep in mind that you once bought something very similar from Patel's and I had to
Yes, you
throw it
won't
out.
ever let me fucking forget it. I know. I'm well aware.
Just use it, is all I'm saying.
Thanks.
Just fucking use it.
Okay. I also got us another good culture, and
Ooh, another good culture.
this is our last Nick's flavor that I picked.
Ooh, peanut chocolate cup. Are we gonna have it now?
Sure. It's probably soup, but
Oh, freeze it then. I don't want
Okay.
soup. You didn't have lunch yet. You want some lunch?
well, I was gonna make a michelada, and maybe I was gonna make some ramen.
Okay, you can move my computer to the window, and then you can use that. Is that section?
Your calendar fell.
I know my calendar fell.
Your favorite gift. You remember?
Oh my god. Let's not go into the calendar.
I think we should go into the calendar.
Let's not go into the calendar. I don't want to make people feel bad if they watch this live.
Cheryl gave you that.
Cheryl did not give me that calendar. Do you think Grandma will appreciate these hand-minced chicken pork dumplings?
Yes. What do you want me to say?
No?
Okay, no, she won't.
Okay, thank you for the truth. It doesn't matter because I appreciate myself for putting into the effort. It's so funny. I feel like on the latest Budget Eats, somebody was like, did Aaron and June break up? There's no mojo anymore. And I'm like, somebody doesn't watch the lives. I'm not just gonna give information to people if they're not even gonna try hunting for it. Like, this is the internet, process.
Even if we weren't broken up after, 11 years together, how do you expect, what do you think people are like?
I'm also just like, I think people just expect a certain kind of sameness in all the content. It makes them feel safe, and whenever content changes, they don't feel safe anymore, and that's when they come up with all the critiques, which I understand. I get it, but I don't get paid to make y'all feel safe. And
Wait, are you saying this isn't a safe space?
and our society as it stands has a lot of insecurities to work through. So it is not my job.
June, I thought we were in a safe space.
We are in a safe space, but you're gonna have to give yourself the safe space that you need at the end of the day. Other people cannot construct the most ideal safe space for you. This is a safe space for me. What do we think about Aaron's idea of drinking a michelada for lunch? I don't know if that sounds like a great idea, but who am I to judge? Oh, was I scratching my face with raw chicken hands? Salmonella.
Can I? Oh,
here
I got these two.
Salmonella. Yes.
Because they've been tempting me for so long.
What?
At Parrot, and I finally bought them.
Nice.
Catalan marinated anchovy fillets. Look how good those look.
How much are those?
I don't know. I didn't care. Anchovy,
Did you go
olives,
to-
yellow and red peppers.
Did you go to Parrot first and then Stop and Shop?
No.
You went to Stop and Shop, bought the ice cream, and then went to Parrot? That ice cream is going to be so crystallized. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Although I will remind you that this is my life. Are you okay?
You guys are gonna see a murder on camera.
I'm the one with the knives.
I'll find a way.
Sure.
All right. Olives, yellow and red peppers, dried tomatoes, red pepper flakes, parsley, and dill.
Hi, Vienna.
So good. Well, I assume.
Are you going to taste? Are you going to taste on camera?
Well, here's the thing. This is what I wanted to consult with you about.
Oh. Before you kill me or after?
Probably before.
Okay.
I think. So micheladas are normally made with clamato, which is tomato and clam juice.
Yeah.
And we don't have clamato.
Okay.
We have tomato juice.
Yeah.
And I have those anchovies. So what if I Vitamixed
Ew.
a little bit of that?
No.
Wouldn't that make like clamato basically?
No, that's disgusting.
How are clams less disgusting than anchovies?
I'm just saying maybe you should just use the juice instead of Vitamixing. I also just don't want fucking Clamato-esque things in my Vitamix that I'm about to use very soon, like tomorrow for a peanut milk TikTok, so.
Ooh, more flavor. I don't need to do it. I was just thinking. I think people can make micheladas with just tomato juice anyways, so it's fine.
Okay.
And I might add some chamoy too, because chamoy has a little funkiness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chamoy is like acidic,
Cool.
and they're both very salty, so just keep that in mind.
Nice. Can I rant for a second?
Okay.
I
We love rants.
am so fucking tired of these. When you try to find a recipe, and all the top Google results are these like essays and shit with like multiple pictures.
You sent me
But
a
you have to-
website that gets rid of that.
Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot it.
it's like recipes only,
Yeah,
and then
so-
you plug in the URL and it gets rid of the intros.
Well, I even found one today when I was Googling michelada. It was one of the top Google results. And at no point in the entire page, I scrolled all the way down, did it ever actually show, here's what I want in a recipe. Here's what I want when I Google a recipe. I want a list of ingredients, and I want steps. That's
Okay,
it.
can
I don't
tell
need to
you-
know that micheladas were invented in
You're very
1809
loud.
by General Juan de Michelada. I don't
Okay.
care.
Some people care though. Can I tell you an industry secret though? We have been told by our SEO team that it is easier to get placed in the Google module, aka the top search results, if your intro is longer.
Right.
So that's
And I
why
want-
everybody's intro is super fucking novel.
I know, and I want zero intro in my recipe.
I know. So who's telling people that they like long intros is my question. This creates more work for us, by the way, because we are then instructed to write super long intros that people don't actually like.
Yeah,
Or you.
I scrolled all the way down and I was reading through the thing. There was picture after picture, and like every step it would be like pour tomato juice in the jar, and would like write 5 fucking sentences about pouring the tomato juice in the jar. And I'm like, man, I don't need to know that. Like, yeah, that's my rant of the day.
Okay. Ooh, that's a good point. There's more space for ads on the page
Yes,
when you have a
true.
long intro.
True.
So Google driven. That is a conspiracy theory worth exploring because Google's money-making scheme is to sell
They
ads.
not only sell ads in search results, they are the top seller of in-page ads as well.
So, wouldn't it make sense then that Google operates in a Yelp economy structure where they prioritize places that pay them money, aka ad revenue? Wow, we solved it, guys! Thank you, Kit. Brilliant point. Brilliant point.
Fill the glass with lime juice, hot sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and a hint of salt. Mix to combine. Fill the glass with ice and top with beer. Oh, interesting.
What's interesting?
Wait, does this? Lime juice, hot sauce, Worcestershire sauce, and a pinch of salt. This michelada recipe doesn't even have tomato juice.
Ew. So do you not have tomato juice?
It's from foodandwine.com. The perfect
Are you
Mexican
thinking?
michelada.
Are you thinking of Bloody Marys and you confused it with a michelada?
No, the top Google result is tomato juice cocktail. So what? All right, comments, help us out. Do micheladas have tomato juice or not? What do you
Dun
think?
dun 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 dun. But are we gonna get copyrighted?
Yes. Actually,
Fuck.
stop. That's it. Apparently, you can do a few seconds of a song. It's okay, but I don't know if that was too long.
You're gonna pay me for this episode. All $8. If we get you.
Oh my God! Wait.
What?
I was fucking joking about the I don't care that Juan de Michelada invented it. All right, here's one of the other top Google results. Who was Michel? One story claims he was a military general during the Mexican Revolution of 1910. This is what I'm talking about. I didn't see this recipe before. This was a new one. They're fucking doing it. They're doing the General Michel story. I just made that up.
Wait, you made up a reality?
I made it up. There was a General Michel.
You made up a reality,
Yeah,
Aaron.
and apparently it's...
Can you tell me what stock is going to go up tomorrow? How about lottery numbers?
Let's do that, yeah, that.
What are they? I'm gonna go
5.
buy a ticket right now. We're all gonna go buy a ticket right now.
5.
We're gonna solve world hunger. 5?
Yeah,
5 all the way through?
yeah, all
What
the way.
are the odds of that?
I think impossible since it has to be different numbers, but just go 5 all the way.
Can you see the future or not?
Micheladas can be made with or without tomato juice. I've made them with tomato juice. You don't need tomato juice, but you'll need lots of lime. Yes, they can have tomato. Well, okay, don't like Aaron. Signing off, says K-Clock. Bye, bitch!
Wow, don't get offended. K-Clock has been a viewer for a very long time.
Oh, I'm sorry, K-Clock.
Some people just don't like you. That's fine. Some people don't like me either.
If you're a friend of June, you're a friend of mine.
I mean, we're not friends.
All right, fuck you then.
Oh my god. And this is why people don't like Aaron.
Oh, K-Clock's great. I'm a top K-Clock fan.
Aaron's always spicy.
Well, I'm making it with tomato juice since obviously we have it and we want to use it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Sounds great to me. Let me know.
Oh, thanks, Darcy Vanberg. She likes me.
Okay. You know, someone for everyone, but no one for, 100% viewership adoration. We all gotta have haters.
Okay, this one's got what I'm looking for. Scrolling down to the recipe portion.
Maxim, I have no idea who you are, but you look fancy with your grayed out name with a check mark next to it. But hello, Germany.
Is he a fellow YouTube celeb, dude?
I mean, are you a fellow YouTube celeb and
have
I've just
celeb
never
viewers?
heard of you? I'm sorry, I don't know you, but welcome.
If Joe Biden was watching right now, what would you say to him?
Please abdicate.
For Kamala? That just
No.
means Kamala would become president.
Please abdicate Kamala too.
That means Nancy Pelosi would be president.
Please abdicate all of them.
How much longer down the chain?
All of them. Clean the swamp.
Every time I leave the house, I see June's "Nobody for President" button,
It is my favorite button.
but you don't wear it because it's just in the dish.
Well, I don't want to lose it, and I've already lost it once.
I like it so much, I'm never going to use it.
That's what my
too
mom
much.
did. Literally what my mom did.
Okay, this one has tahini, ice, lime, tomato juice, Worcestershire, Tabasco, I'll use the chamoy, beer, and optional for garnish, celery stalk. Nice. Moisten rim of a beer glass with a lime wedge. Pour some tahini, rim the glass with it.
Mm-hmm.
Put ice in the glass, pour lime juice, tomato juice, Worcestershire, Tabasco, and beer in the glass and stir. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
You
easy
got
enough. What are the portions? So, it says a half cup tomato juice and a 12-ounce beer and a dash of these sauces and the juice of 1 lime. Okay, what's my biggest jar here?
I use it for Fred's broth. I'm sorry.
June.
You need a jar? Why do you need a jar?
Because a whole beer isn't going to fit in that thing, especially with tomato juice. I'll find something.
Okay. You can also use a bowl.
Drink my michelada out of a bowl.
Yeah. Also, this is a jar.
Yes, this
That'll
will do.
hold.
This is about 20 ounces.
I'm gonna return you guys to our original angle. My phone has recharged a little bit. There we go. Now you get a little bit of all the action.
Somewhere here.
On the right side is chamoy, left side is tomato.
Okay, our youtiao dough is looking nice and smooth, looking good. You see? Pointy, pointy. A few more turns and we can fridge her.
Should limes be in the fridge or outside?
I do fridge. They keep fresher for longer. This is our dumpling dough. And I have you. Alright, my favorite part of dumpling filling making is spices. So I think sesame oil, definitely, because grandma loves, and it's delicious. And then we gotta go in with some soy sauce. MSG for sure.
You want to use lime skin for anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Vinegar. I need a snack, Aaron.
Peanuts.
Oh,
Ice
I
cream.
taste so much peanuts.
Peanuts with ice cream.
Ew.
One of my Macedonian cookies.
Nope. That's all you. I'll eat an apple.
The funio or whatever.
I have to cook that.
This?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a snack.
Can I have a dish? bit of cumin. Little bit of coriander, just a tiny bit, because Grandma doesn't like weird things. And to her, any spice that's not like white pepper is weird. Where did my white pepper that's not Mom's white pepper go though? Did I get rid of it? Shit. Oh, I did get rid of it, yep. Gave it to my friend. I remember now. Pre-made dumpling wrappers are fine. They're very thin. They're very skinny. They're definitely convenient. You will save hours of time with them, but I just like making them from scratch because you really can't beat the texture of homemade dumpling wrappers. Not to toot my own horn, but I think my dumpling wrapper is pretty top, so I will toot my own horn.
I'll toot your horn, June.
Thank
Excellent
you.
dumpling wrappers.
Thank you.
I can confirm.
Yeah. They're just a lot more al dente. They got a lot more bounce to them. The store-bought ones will do the job, but for me, you know how they say the most important part of sushi is actually the rice? For me, a bad wrapper will ruin a good dumpling. So making a decent wrapper is very important to me because, I don't know. You don't want a wrapper that like falls apart if you boil the dumplings a little too much, you know? You want one that's got integrity. Aaron's making a michelada.
I've never, I was gonna just get a standard Corona or Modelo, but I've never heard of this beer, which is why I got it. Does anybody know if Bohemia is a decent Mexican beer?
Are Mexican beers usually Pilsners?
I have no idea. What kind is Corona?
Why don't you take the wrapper off?
No need to.
What if you get foil inside?
I didn't.
But what if?
What if? I have no idea the ratio, I'm eyeballing.
This household is eyeball.
Mm-hmm. Eyeball only household. Oh, June, I'll leave you this sip to rate.
What?
I left you a sip to rate.
Okay.
I'll cue it up.
Should I shred some cabbage for Grandma?
Bohemia Classica. Aroma.
Oh wow, okay, you're ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
Okay.
I still have apple in my mouth.
Take my sip then. Looks red. I did rim the glass with
Squeeze
tahini. Oh, it says to stir it first.
No. That is not my thing.
Not June's kind of drink. You don't like tomato juice, spicy, beer, or
I like
anything
some
really
beer.
weird.
I like some beer.
Yeah, some beer. Probably not this beer. Cheers.
Saludos? Is that how you say cheers in Spanish?
Damn, I did good on my first michelada.
Nice.
Gotta admit.
How much are you gonna tip yourself?
That wouldn't make sense. If I gave money to myself, I would lose money but gain the same amount, so I'd end up with no difference.
But that's life.
Let me think about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty good. I would say it's better than when I've ordered micheladas in regular bars, but not as good as when I've ordered micheladas in Mexican restaurants.
Interesting.
Yes.
What's missing for it
It
to
needs
reach?
it needs a little more funkiness. So I'm sure if I made it with the clamato instead.
What if you added a drop, just a drop of fish sauce right now?
Okay. I actually skipped the Worcestershire because I did the chamoy.
We have Worcestershire.
I know, but I think the fish sauce is a good idea.
It's a lot saltier. Yeah, this opening is terrible.
I did 3 drops.
That's a lot.
I like it funky.
Enjoy. Le Creuset cast iron pans, they're good. They're very expensive, but if you're coming from a household that can afford $200 to $300 to $400 pans, then you go for it, girl.
For cast iron, you should buy the cheapest one possible. There's no reason to go expensive.
I mean, if you want enameled cast iron, I would say that
Yeah, that's different.
Le Creuset is probably the best. Staubs are also great, but if you get like Cuisinart knockoff enamel cast iron, it just does not measure up.
Oh yeah, that was an improvement. Good idea, June.
Nice. Okay, beer time?
Yes, if you can get an aroma from the bottom of that bottle.
Oh yeah, very floral. I actually really like the smell of this.
Nice. Floral. Nice smell.
Mmm. Like a solid, trustworthy friend
The smell.
of a beer, yeah.
Okay. Taste.
Bitter with character. That's actually a really well balanced cheap beer. I like it a lot.
Overall or other?
It has a slight walnut aroma. And gin influence.
Okay. Overall?
I'll give it a 3.
Nice. Really well balanced cheap beer is your roll, right?
Uh-huh.
Nice. That's higher than the 2 beers yesterday.
Mm?
Saturday. Or whenever.
I gave them 3.25.
Oh, right. Yeah, never mind. I was thinking 275. Cool. Well, I've done what I came here for.
Goodbye. Take your beer, rinse it out, put it in my bag, please, so I can drop it in for depositing. I've been taking my cans to the deposit place and putting them into the deposit machine and just leaving
the balance in there. Like for a long time I was like, should I put these recyclables that get you deposits in a special bag on the curb for people to pick up? And then I was like, well, they're gonna take them to the deposit place anyway. Why don't I just feed it into the deposit machine
But
and
you
then
don't know if the machine cancels out after a certain amount.
I don't know if the machine cancels out after a certain time. I also don't know who's pressing the print button, like, but whatever. Did Aaron get a haircut? Not recently.
Yeah, I did. You gave me the haircut.
Within the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, wasn't that 2 weeks ago? It was exactly 2 weeks ago.
Okay, well, I gave him a haircut. That's my handiwork.
The mustache isn't my handiwork. Are you sure you don't want to taste Aaron's first ever michelada? Inspired by General Juan de Michel from 1910 or whatever bullshit.
Okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. I'll come back when you're done to make my nudes.
Okay. Well, you can let me know when you want to eat your nudes, because I'm not going to be done finishing dumpling wrapping for like 8,000 years, so just let me know.
I just don't want to get in your way anymore.
I know. So do you want to make it now out in the live?
No, do you think it's fine? I'll survive.
Give me like 25 minutes max, and then I'll
Okay.
log off.
Maybe.
I know he's the cutest. I have not seen a tiny gray cat in the alley. There's a tiny gray cat?
Yeah, there's a gray cat. I guess it's tabby-ish.
What
The
does it
video,
have?
video's not very exciting. He's just hanging out there.
Ooh!
Yeah.
He looks evil.
Yeah, he was giving me an evil look.
I think he's just
He
scared.
was walking towards me, and then of course when I started filming, he stopped.
Shall we go give him a frozen puck of food?
Let's get to know him first before we.
Okay.
We have to see if he murdered Kevin Corpus too. He's even smaller than Kevin, but he doesn't look like a kitten. I think he's an adolescent.
Yeah, he doesn't have a kitten look to him. Mom's rolling pin that I warped, I think, as I do my rolling pins. So if I had like 2 or 3 people, one person would be rolling out wrappers, one person would be
You have 3 people, be right.
true, one person would be crimping, and then one person would be in charge of like boiling. That's usually how it works.
Which would Fred be best at?
Fred would be best at eating. I promised myself I was not going to cook this weekend. Don't make promises. You will break them. The dumpling filling is minced smoked pork neck bone meat with minced chicken breast meat with salt, MSG, soy sauce, cilantro, scallions, Napa cabbage, white pepper, a little bit of coriander and cumin ground. That's it. Pretty basic. I still really suck at rolling these wrappers out. If you get like someone who's really experienced and good at it, they can roll out a wrapper in like 4 seconds flat. Even less time perhaps. They can like twist the wrapper with one hand constantly, even before the rolling pin makes a full back and forth. It's mind-blowing. Watch some people work their magic. Oh my gosh. Aaron, did you know 2,000 cows died in Kansas because of the heat?
Yeah. Well, I know there's a heat wave, but I already know about the
Jesus. That's sad.
This is also the worst wildfire season ever so far.
Great, so the world is ending. Hallelujah. Are people dying in Kansas because of the heat? Or just cows? I guess because cows don't get AC, huh? I remember there was one year where the heat wave was so bad that like old people were dying in France. I feel like that made international news. Oh, cows don't sweat like dogs? Because dogs have no way of sweating too, I learned.
How's your michelada?
Great.
So once you run out of the beef noodle broth, you'll have chicken noodle broth.
Nice.
You know, I guess this is one way of nature telling us suck it up and eat fewer animals just by like eliminating them from our options. For better or for worse, we must learn to adapt. And I guess our species is one of those that don't do shit until they are forced to do shit. So this is why we can't have nice things, I believe, is what the kids say. You abuse the system and the system will stop giving. Do we have questions about dumpling making? I can answer now. I just haven't been great at looking at the comments recently, but who here has been watching for a year or more? Baby dumpling.
So cute. So cute.
I didn't even roll that rope of dough out, so these are all going to be wonky shapes. Just feeling like creating chaos for myself, really.
What will this dumpling look like?
Edible. It will look edible. That is such a weird sound. Is that a flat tire? Sounds like somebody has a very flat tire. Plopping down the road.
And that's what the dumpling will look like when you use a wrapper.
that is not shapen properly. I don't remember when I told Aaron 25 minutes max, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Y'all, thank you for dropping in. Thank you for watching Fred eat. Thank you for your questions and your conversations and your advice to your fellow viewers, and thank you for being kind. Most of all, to yourself. I hope you continue doing all those things if they make you happy. And definitely take your vitamins, because I still haven't yet. This one's gonna be a chonker. You make a baby, you make a chonker. Everything balances out. Which one would you rather eat? Aaron, whenever you want to come make your lunch, you just have to help me turn off the live, because my hands are very chickeny. And I don't want to touch my phone. I guess Aaron is not coming to turn off the live. Like I said, these lives are like those end credits at movie theaters. Some people choose to stay, and sometimes, you know, there's content. Not always. Is there a type of podcast topic you guys think is sorely missing from the supremely overpopulated, oversaturated podcast market? I feel like there's podcasts for everything. But have you ever thought about like a podcast that you haven't seen done yet that you would like to see done? Also, my computer went to sleep, so I only have access to the comments that are showing up on my phone, and my phone sometimes doesn't show me comments, so I'm probably not seeing 80% of all the comments. What would happen one day if I discovered that I can't turn off the live? Like, can't turn off the phone, she's gonna keep streaming forever. I feel like that's gonna be a Black Mirror moment of our lives. Aaron, come rescue me from the live.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye! Thank you for coming!